my channel. Today's video is my March wrap-up, and I'm going to include my April TBR at the end of this video. So stay tuned to pick out my TBR off my bookshelf with me. I'm really excited to share with you guys my March wrap-up and what I read in March and what I thought about the books that I read. So without further ado, let's just get into the video. I have my stack of books here. I read 5 books. Okay, also this might be annoying, but it's just my bed frame. The way I am like sitting, this is my bed, so it's a little in the way, but we're gonna have to make do with it. So the first book that I read in March was Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score, and I really liked this book actually. I was pleasantly surprised with it. I was a little bit nervous going into it because of how long of a book it is. I think it's like 530-ish pages. But I really liked it. I really liked her writing. It was a slow burn, but I feel like it was done well as a slow burn, in my opinion at least. It was, if you guys don't know, it is a small town, I'd say like Grumpy Sunshine. It's like almost enemies to lovers, but like I wouldn't really give it a full-on enemies to lovers. It's definitely Grumpy Sunshine though, small town. There's like a little bit of a mystery in there, but it's like very small. It was a very good book. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It held my attention really well. I listened to some of it with an audiobook because of how long it was. I got the audiobook for it. But overall, this was a very good story, kept my attention, and I really liked it. The next book that I read in March was Daisy Jones and the Six, and the TV show came out, I think, at the beginning of this month, so as soon as that came out, I was like, I have to read the book because I really want to watch the show, but I can't watch it until I read the book because for anyone that reads books understands you have to read the book before you can watch the show. So I read Daisy Jones and the Six, and I really liked the way that this book was written. It was written in like all dialogue, so you didn't have to read through all of the like setting and like, I don't want to say world building, but like in a sense, kind of. But yeah, I just really loved the characters in this. It just felt very real. Like, this feels like a real band. I mean, it kind of is now, but it just felt so real and so... There's no words, really. It was just amazing. I gave this one a 5 out of 5 as well. I was very lucky the start of March, starting with 2 5-star books. And I did start the TV show. I think I'm like 6 episodes in or something, but I love it. Like, seeing the characters come to life and seeing the songs come to life, like that was probably the best part. I'm obsessed with the music from it, and they just did a really good job. I mean, they changed a lot in the show from the book, but they still did a very good job. I mean, I liked it. So yeah. The next book that I picked up in March was for my 24-hour reading vlog. So if you haven't seen that, it's on my channel. My attempt at a 24-hour reading vlog, I should say, because it was not successful. But I read Things We Hide from the Light. So that, if you don't know, this is a sequel to this. It's the second in the series. And this one I didn't like as much as Things We Never Got Over. It was still very good. It kept my attention for for a good part of it, but I felt like I didn't connect to Nash and Lena as much as I did with Naomi and Knox, and I just felt like it was a little bit repetitive as well. So this one I think I gave a 4 out of 5 stars, which is still good. It was a good book, but I do think that this one could have been like 100 or 200 pages shorter. There's a lot of detail that I didn't feel like needed to be in there. The ending I found very similar to Things We Never Got Over. If you've read them both, I mean, you probably understand. Overall, it was a good book. I just didn't love it like I loved the first one, but I'm still gonna read the next one when that comes out because I'm excited to see that story and where that one goes. But overall, this one was a 4 out of 5 for me. And if you're wondering, it was also same small town. It was reverse Grumpy Sunshine, so it was female Grumpy, male Sunshine. And it was good, but yeah, not my favorite. The next book, also from my 24-hour reading vlog, was Good Girl, Bad Blood. And this book was, like, I actually loved this book. It is the second one in the Good Girls Guide to Murder series. There's a third one as well, which I'm very excited to read. I have it on my bookshelf, so that one might be in my April TBR because I'm very excited to see where this story goes. I just like the characters in this so much, and I love her writing. Like, I'm not usually someone who likes third person, and I said that in my last video, but the way that she writes third person, like, I like third person when she does it, but I don't tend to like it a lot when other people do it. So that says a lot about her writing style and her books. I'm very excited to read some more of her books. I really want to read 5 Survive and then, of course, finish the series. If you don't know, this series is a girl, Pippa, who decides for her school project that she's going to, like, investigate a murder that had happened in her small town. They unravel a bunch of clues and they interview people and they figure out who was behind the murder and they end up solving the case. So it was very good. That was the first one. And then this one, the girl had a podcast, and this was following her podcast. And she ends up making a season 2 of the podcast. So you get to follow along with that and what that season was about. It was very good. I loved it. It was also a 5 out of 5 for me. You're probably thinking, Kayla, you give out literally 5 out of 5s for every book that you read. No, I don't. I just got really, really lucky this month, and I've loved all the books that I've read. Aside from this one, which got a 4 out of 5, but it was still a good book, nonetheless. After this book, I grabbed A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime, which you would also see in my reading vlog. This book I've seen recommended a ton by Lauren's Reading Corner on Instagram, and I was a little intimidated by it again because it's such a big book. Like, this book, like, compared to, like, this book, and, like it's very large. It's also quite heavy. But anyways, I ended up starting it. My mom got me this for Valentine's Day, so I've been wanting to read it. I really liked the way that this book was written. I fell in love with the characters so soon into the story. I really loved Ren. There was just something about Crew. Like, he was this bad boy. I mean, I understand completely why people wouldn't like him, but me personally, I liked him. There was definitely things that he did that I was like, no, but I really love this book. And if you're wondering, yes, I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. This honestly really deserves 5 stars. It is probably my new favorite book. One of them, at least. I don't know if I wouldn't recommend this to everyone. You definitely have to like this kind of book. There's definitely a lot of spice in it, so you have to like that in order to read it, I would say. It's definitely up there on my favorite books. So I would very much recommend this if you're into that type of book. I guess I should give a little bit about what it's about. It's about Ren Beaumont and Crew Lancaster. Crew's family owns Lancaster Prep, the prep school, high school, and Ren becomes a new student there, and Crew is automatically, like, drawn to her, and he's like intrigued, and he thinks she's so beautiful, and he wants her attention, but for 3 years just, like, sees her every day and doesn't really talk to her. And, like, 3 years later they end up being assigned as partners for their psychology class, and they're forced to talk to each other and hang out, and things just go from there. And it was very good. The whole thing is that Ren is very pure and Crew is very intrigued by that. So anyways, yes, very good book. So that one has, like, a little novella. And so this was the next one. I don't really know if I can consider this a book because it's literally 50 pages. But I picked up Birthday Kisses, again by Monica Murphy. And this one is just following Crew and Ren's story and kind of what happens after this. It's kind of just like a longer epilogue, but I like it. I gave this one, I think, like a 3.5, 4 stars, like around there, because it was a great story and I loved the characters and everything, but I didn't give a whole lot to, like, base a rating off of. Like, it was only, like, a couple scenes, so it really didn't give me enough to love it, you know? But nonetheless, it was still really good, and I would recommend it if you enjoy epilogues, but I know a lot of people don't like epilogues, so if you're one of those people that does not like epilogues, I wouldn't recommend this. But I thought it was nice to get the closure and see where they ended up and all of that. So those are technically all of the books that I have read in March. Right now I am reading Twisted Love by Anna Hong, I think is how you say her last name. I don't know, I could be wrong. But I have started this one, and it is not the end of March yet. I'm just filming this a couple days early, like a day or two early. So I could finish this by the end of March, but if not, it will be on my April monthly wrap up. So you'll see that there, because right now I'm only on page 109. So there's a chance that I might not finish this, but I did. I'm really excited to share this, guys. So I did just get a Kindle today. I'm so excited. I've been iffy about whether or not I wanted a Kindle, because I love the like satisfaction of when you have a book, being able to like see like how much you have left, like that visual of, oh, I have like, I don't know, like when it comes to like halfway, like the satisfaction of that, or like being able to flip and be like, oh, I have like a couple more pages of that chapter. There's just something about it, and like holding a book is just very nice. But so far, I've literally just got this today, and so far it has been very nice to read with. I like that I can like just kind of set it in front of me, and I don't have to like hold the book open, you know, like it's just, I like it. So I'm very excited, and if you guys have any Kindle Unlimited recommendations, definitely leave them in the comments, because I would love to see what you guys are reading on there. So I really like that, and I'm really happy about that purchase. So share your recommendations on books for your Kindle, and I think it's time to pick out my April TBR. I'm just going to put all my books back on my shelf, and then we will go ahead and pick out what books we're gonna add to the TBR. Okay, so I've put all of my books back on my bookshelf, aside from the one I'm reading right now. So I want to have like a good variety for my TBR. I don't want to just have like all romance, just have all like thrillers, mysteries. So I need a good little mix of what's going to be in there. I really talk a lot with my hands, don't I? I definitely want a couple mystery, a couple romance. I don't know if I'm going to do any fantasy yet. As I said in my last video, I've not really dabbled into the fantasy world yet. I definitely want to. I just haven't got there yet, and I'm a little bit scared that I'm not going to like it. I did just buy Once Upon a Broken Heart because in the videos that Sarah, Destiny, and Haley did, Haley gave Destiny and Sarah Once Upon a Broken Heart to read, and they both ended up loving it, and Sarah's made videos about the second one and she loved it, so I bought the first one, and we'll see. But I don't know, I haven't really heard if that's like a good one to read for your first fantasy book, but I think the like fairy tale-esque of it is going to be like really cool to read, so that's a possibility, that one here. Some of the for sure ones that I do want to read, I'm sitting on a chair right in front of my bookshelf, but some of the for sure ones that I want to read are, I think, Magnolia Parks. I just got this one not that long ago, and I've been very excited to read it, so I think for now we're gonna put that on the pile of my TBR. I think I also want to read, okay, let's do all my romance ones first. I think I want to read Before We Were Strangers. These are literally all going to end up being like Sarah Crowley's favorite books. Like, can you tell I'm influenced? So I've heard a lot of good things about this. I don't know fully what it's about. I think something like online friends or something like that. But I'm intrigued, and I would like to read that. So this is going to be in the, I'd have this as the maybe pile, and then we'll decide when I pull them out, because I don't want to add too many books to it, because I don't know if I can, like, I don't know how many books I can read in a month. This month I read 5 and a bit, like 5.5-ish, but in January I read 8 books. Last month I only read 3 books. It was a slow month for me. I was in a big reading slump that month, so like I don't know what April's gonna bring, so I don't want to like commit to like 8 books, or like, I think I'm probably gonna pick 5 or 6 for my TBR, and then I can read outside of that too. Like, I don't have to stick to my TBR because I'm very much a mood reader. So we have 2 maybes so far, and let's see what else we have. So I have Love in Other Words, and I would very much love to read this, but I also have heard so many good things about it that I need to read it at like the right time. Like I think I'm gonna love it, but I don't want to read it when I'm like going into a reading slump or something. Like I want to love it as much as I can. If that makes any sense. So this is a maybe, but I have to be in the mood to read this because I don't want to read it in a reading slump or something because I know I won't enjoy it as much as I should. So that's a maybe. I think that's it for romance books. I do have Brutal Prince though. I've heard this one's good too. This one could replace this one depending on my mood. So maybe I'll put both of those in. More maybes. I definitely think I want to read Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. This is another one of Sarah's favorites, and I've heard great things about it. So I think this will be one of my mystery thrillers for the month. And the other mystery thriller that I want, I already know I want it to be As Good as Dead. I've read the rest of the series, and obviously I would love to finish the series, so this one's going in the TBR, and I really hope to get to this one. This is one of the main ones that I would love to read. And I think the last one I'm going to put on my actual TBR is going to be If He Had Been With Me. I'm probably going to regret this because I'm going to cry like a little baby, but I've heard great things about this. I've heard it's very sad, but I'm very excited, and I would love to understand what it's all about. So let's go through what I've picked. So I accidentally picked 7. So I remember saying that I was only going to pick 5 or 6, but I picked 7. But as I said, these 2, I probably won't read both. It's probably going to be like a one or the other depending on my mood, because this one's like a second chance friends to lovers, childhood friends to lovers, I think. I actually don't know. I don't read the backs of books. And then this one I think is like a mafia romance. So they're very different. So depending on my mood, I'll do one of these. And then I had Before We Were Strangers by Renee Carland, if I said that right. I don't know. And I had Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. And I've heard so many good things about this whole universe. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Like, I shouldn't be because I've heard it's so toxic. But something about that intrigues me, so. And like also the spines of these books are so pretty. I'm here for it. Next on the list, I have As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. And then I have Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. And the last book on my April TBR is If He Had Been With Me by Laura Nowlin. I don't know how to say it. I'm really bad at this apparently. But yes, I'm very excited. I think this cover is literally just the cutest thing ever. That concludes my April TBR. So I will maybe make some reading vlogs. So comment below if you want. So comment below if you want to see any of these books in a reading vlog. I might do the Magnolia. Ow, this is hurting. I might do Magnolia Parks as a reading vlog. So let me know if you would like to see that. So that brings us to the end of today's video, and I really appreciate you guys clicking on today's video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye.